Alright guys, Garage Workouts here, bringing you another bench press session again. Third time benching this week. So today's all about lockout work. So focusing on the triceps, we're going to be using the slingshot and we'll be doing some pin presses. I haven't used the slingshot in 4 weeks because I've been focusing on raw, but I've been itching to get back into the gym and use it. So the plan going forward now is to drop another bench press session. So I've gone from 4 to 3, now to 2. So we're going to have a raw bench day and a slingshot bench day, and now we're going to start sort of decreasing the volume but increasing the intensity. As well as hitting 210 kilos on the bench raw, I'd also like to hit 220 kilos with the slingshot as well. So that's another goal of mine. So as you can see here, just warming up doing some pin presses. And the benefits of doing this is that I don't have a spotter. So if I couldn't do the rep, for example, I could just set it in the pins. So for safety reasons, it's very safe. So he worked up to a heavy single, not a 1 rep max. So 200 kilos. Haven't done it for 4 weeks, so not very adapted to the movement. And then we done some back off sets with 180 kilos and we did 5 sets of 3 reps. So for the third bench press session this week, carrying a lot of fatigue. This is an amazing sort of start point. If I haven't done a movement for like 4 weeks and I'm quite unadapted to it, usually the next week I do it, I can always put on like anywhere from 10 to 20 kilos on it. So the slingshot is a lot more emphasis on the triceps as it's deloading the weight on the chest. Now we're moving on to incline bench press with chains. So the chains are making it harder at the lockout as well. And the chains are about 30 kilos total at the top. And we did this 3 sets and we did 4 to 6 reps on each set. So today's all about lockout. So we're really focusing on the triceps. We've used the slingshot to emphasize the triceps more. Now we're using the chains to emphasize the triceps more. We're really focusing on that top end part of the bench press. Now we're moving on to bodyweight dips, and this is just overall great for the chest and the triceps. You get a deep stretch at the bottom, good squeeze at the top. Get a great pump on these, and we've done 3 sets, as many reps as possible. So what I'm doing here, I've combined 2 exercises, which is a Spoto press and a Larson press, and I've added the chains. So I'm lowering the bar down and I'm pausing about 1 or 2 inches off the chest and then pressing up. I'm also not using any leg drive. So this bench variation is very, very strict, okay? So this is purely all upper body. There's no momentum, there's no cheating. So the Spoto press removes the stretch reflex compared to regular bench press. The Larson press removes the leg drive from the bench press. And the chains are making it much harder at the lockout and punish you for poor acceleration. I've also supersetted it with push-ups, and this just adds more time under tension as well. I'm also pushing lots of blood into the chest, shoulders and triceps as well, which helps with recovery and endurance. Doing these bench press variations, getting stronger on them, it just has massive carryover to the bench press. Another benefit of doing these is because it's so challenging and strict, you don't need to use as much weight, which can reduce the risk of injury and also safer if you're training on your own and you have no spotter. So my triceps and chest was absolutely cooked after all these exercises. Like I said, it's the third bench press session this week, so I was carrying a lot of fatigue. My nervous system's been under a lot of stress because we went from 4 bench press sessions to 3. And now we're dropping down to 2. So just as that weight creeps up, just need a little bit more time to recover. When you're newer to the gym, you can definitely push the frequency higher. But the heavier weights you lift, the harder it gets to recover. Every once in a while, if I hit a plateau, I like to run a very high frequency bench program. But after a while, it just gets too taxing. So after this workout, I'm definitely going to take sort of 3 to 4 days to completely recover my muscles, tendons, and my nervous system. I always say I'm going to take days off and then I don't. I just love bench pressing so much. But I definitely need the rest now. My body's in sort of an overreach state. So having a rest now would be perfect timing because when I come back after the rest, then I'll really be able to see where my strength's at. So yeah, I had a great workout and I'm excited for the next one. And the last sort of 3-4 weeks has been more of like a muscle building focus phase, and now I'm moving more onto like a strength phase. So be really exciting to test my strength and see what numbers I can get up to. And I hope all of you guys are achieving your goals in the gym. And thanks for watching, and like and subscribe if you want to see more bench press content.